Oh, Jeff, you love a sign.
I love signs. Are we actually live? Oh, I can't see it on my screen.
Here we go.
Here we go. Jump off if you want. In the words of Rain Dakota. Are you jumping? Are we jumping? Welcome to the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Meow. Fine, Aisha.
I'm
It's
sorry.
fine. No, you want to fight? You want to fight on a Monday? That's fine.
We don't need to be
It's
fighting.
the only fighting that's happening in the damn DFW any goddamn
They
way.
doing enough fighting in other places. We don't need to fight.
You got your hair looking good shirt on.
thank you so
feeling
much.
spicy
I'm not
today.
You got the Chung Lee, like the Chung Lee puffs, like spinning side kick.
Feeling spicy
Yeah.
today.
As long as it's old girl from Charlie's Angels, I'm cool with it.
I don't know who that is. I know like
Cameron Diaz.
Cindy
Lucy Lou.
Lucy Lou.
You look like Chung Lee.
Guys, we need to talk to y'all, okay? Hit the like and subscribe. Because if there's one thing we're not going to do on a Monday,
It's tackle.
on a rainy, overcast Monday,
It's
it's
fill our
let
gaps.
our favorite sports team control our mental health. We're going to hit the like button. We're going to
Talk about it.
subscribe. We're going to vibe. And everything about today's show is going to be super positive.
What?
Yeah.
I am Jeff. Thank you for giving us your time on a sad Monday. Even the weather is sad. Next to me is one of my best friends, a sweet man. The Cowboys need 53 of him, but they cut the one, even though Jason Garrett told him he needed 53 of them. Former Cowboys wide receiver,
I still need therapy for
I'll
that.
never forget it, bro.
Jesse Holly.
Oh, Jesse Holly went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
And remember,
What?
it's hard to be sucker free in a world full of lollipops.
Is that about the Cowboys' run defense?
That's just my proverb for the day.
I thought you was going to say it's hard to be sucker free when you going to the bank. They always have suckers.
Aisha, you are so accidentally cute.
They always have suckers. Don't you? Don't get
Like the
suckers
thing,
when you
like
go to the
in
bank?
your mind that made perfect sense, and in our mind it was just like that was adorable.
Y'all didn't get suckers when
I'm
you was a
speaking
kid
for
at
Jesse
the
because I know
bank?
his brain did the same thing.
Bank of America used to have the best ones.
They do. They have the little
And they put them in the little thing.
the dum
dum-dums.
dums. Dum dums.
My
Speaking
bad,
of dum
y'all.
dums, we'll be talking about the Cowboys
I'll be
today.
slipping.
We're going to talk about Jerry today.
We are, unfortunately.
That's 2I.
That's me.
That's Aisha.
Yeah.
First topic on the docket is what Rain Dakota said. And let me tell you, can I tell everybody a secret about Rain Dakota? Prescott, it's Dak. I don't know if you guys know his name. His name's Rain Dakota. He does not do things on accident.
Very calculated.
So Dak knows that John Machota is going to be hanging out in the little hallway when the game is over and the players are walking to the locker room. If Dak says something out loud right as he approaches the camera with the microphone, he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah. This man has a master's in like what communications, something
Psychology.
And workplace leadership
He's
and
intelligent.
psychology.
He's
So,
And
intelligent.
he's
yes.
around the special ops every offseason, right? Like he gets the special ops people to come and
Oh, well, don't do
train
the
and
way
tutor.
Tiger did. Like, don't destroy your
Well,
body.
no. He does it for the mental.
But the
mental part of it.
intellect is through the roof.
Yes.
That's what you're
Yes.
saying.
And so he said, jump off if you want, and then walked into the locker room. So I want to take this two different ways. One, are you jumping off? And two, what was his plan there? And I can tell you kind of what his plan was because our very own Clarence Hill texted Dak and was like, hey, what the hell? And let me just give it to you now. How about that? I give it to you.
Come on, Clarence, with the exclusive.
Yeah, Clarence got the exclusive. So Clarence texted Dak and said, hey, what? What?
What?
And Dak said, I'll tell you what.
So airy what?
Dak said, I know people are going to be upset and start saying what we can't do. So I was just encouraging them. Go ahead and hate, because the hate is going to hate. I'm confident in what we have and only want the real believers. Are you a real believer or are you jumping off? You jumping? No, don't move the mic.
What he about to do?
Oh, he's going to jump. Oh, no. Don't jump. It's not even high enough to do anything. Damn it.
We got insurance, right?
No, Jesse! Oh, no. He jumped. My God. The fact that your body was willing.
Did you opt in for your insurance?
Yeah, we had our sign up
my
a couple weeks
God.
ago. So you're jumping off.
I'm out.
Oh, no.
I'm out. I'm out.
Were you a theater kid?
No, but that hurt.
Should have been.
I bet it hurt. You jumped.
Shout out to Empire Flooring.
You did. The Empire Flooring did a great job.
Yeah, they helped me.
It was your
It helped
body that didn't. Okay.
I got to warm up. I got to warm up for that.
Say,
What?
damn. I heard that damn totally
Damn.
different. Oh, wow.
I do think it's funny that the whole thing where it's like, we only want real believers. It's like, well, actually, do you know how belief works? Like, don't get me wrong, there are some things where it's just blind faith, and there are absolutely Cowboy fans out there that are going to homer it up no matter what. But just that quote is funny to me. Like, we only want real believers. Like, no, what makes me believe is having a reason.
I'm not going to lie. Can I just say this?
What?
You need to catch your breath?
No, not that I need to catch my breath. But, like, I know old
You
boy,
believed in that desk, too. That is not a big, sturdy...
I know old boy faked the wrist injury last week. I think I actually hurt my wrist.
He didn't fake. They
I think-
faked.
yeah.
He said he was fine.
I think I actually, like, my wrist hurts.
Well, Jesse,
I'm gonna be
we're
honest with you.
40.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you.
You jumped off a table.
I got to stop having these impulse, like...
Y'all is 40.
Yeah, it's
Can
true.
I say that, but even with the Dak comment, though, I think in his, are you okay?
I'm good. I'm gonna muster this through.
Which wrist is it? Is it the one
Get
that's
some
down in your
ice.
lap?
It's the one that's in my lap. I'm tough.
But in his mind, think about in his mind, he has fixed stuff before. He's been covering up not so good play calling, not so good offensive line play, no run game, defense can't stop the run even last year. Like, so I think in his mind, he might think that he can fix it or that he can bring them up from the shambles. Does that make sense? Like, I do think that that's maybe part of it.
And I think also
him.
to your point, to add on to your point, which I think is absolutely correct. Players in any sport, they have this sometimes unbelievable belief
Oh, yeah.
in themselves
Yeah.
that they can fix the issue. They have this belief that I can do it. I can go out there because honestly, like that's something that's been instilled in us since Little League.
Right.
Is that you can go out there and overcome. And
Cat, pull that one back up.
when Dak says it, like you have to kind of think a little bit in the concept and the scope of Dak Prescott.
Right.
He's literally overcome just about everything in his life.
Yeah.
Right?
Facts.
Like so in his mind, he's like he believes that I've overcome poverty, I've overcome loss, I've overcome doubt, I've overcome so many things. Injuries, like right? Like so in his mind, he 1000% believes that I can overcome this.
And he also is like, what we have going on now, besides the run defense being just atrocious.
Butt, ass,
You gotta stop saying that.
trash.
You're better than that. There are
I'm
better.
not better than saying
There's
butt.
better adjectives.
Than butt?
Trash.
Butt is a hilarious way to say somebody's bad.
So
Oh, thank you. No lie.
Thank you to Ben.
Ben,
Boss
thank
man. Boss man. And hit the like button and
that's
make sure
our
you
boss
subscribe for Jesse, please. And he didn't see it, Katya. I need it again.
What is
Jesse let his intrusive thought win.
again?
Just jumped off the
I
damn
gotta
table.
stop. I gotta stop that, man. I gotta stop letting those thoughts win.
Said, like, the ADHD works differently.
Yeah.
I told
Everybody's
you it was
ADHD
different.
is different, but we all got the hell out of it.
it is different.
Okay. So, super
no,
chat
go ahead.
from
Give me some of them goodies you got.
it's Toxic Tom.
Give one of them goodies you got.
8.5-inch Toxic Tom. And that's not very tall. Other GMs make the team better. Ours measures bloop. We can
Tater
get to that.
tots.
I am 100% going to figure out, if you guys haven't seen it, it hit X Twitter tweet the other day that Jerry's up in his tower watching practice and Jamie Foxx was there with the biggest dip I've ever seen in his lip. And you can just hear Jerry in the background talking about a player, and it's a running back, and he said 5'9.5".
No,
5'9.5", 4'4", I forgot what he said about how tall his hair was, but he said something about his hair, and then he goes, 8.5 inch. And he said it. And Jamie immediately killed his Instagram live. He's like, okay, let's get up out of here. And I asked Clarence, I was like, none of these running backs fit that description. And he was like, Jamie wasn't at camp this year. We got to go back to what year Jamie was at camp, and we got to figure out who was on the roster then. And then we can figure out who is blessed.
Why do we need to research that much?
We don't. So what I was saying about Dak is now my ADHD, I even took my medicine today. What I was going to say about Dak is I also think part of that was Dak knows what the stories are going to be after the game before they're written, right? Mm-hmm. Like he knows that some of the stories of the game are, we saw Tank and Micah fighting on the sideline after. We saw CeeDee throughout the game not having what you would call poise.
We saw you and CeeDee.
And we saw you and CeeDee not getting along the best. And so you know that some other players, like both Tank referred to it as Little League, Micah said, I don't even know. And like, I think Dak was choosing to be the guy on purpose that was like, I dare you to doubt us. Because I know that what's going to come out of this is they were fighting, this is bad, that's bad. And so put it on me to be the guy that I believe. Mm-hmm. And I believe that if you don't, I will be right. And you will feel dumb. Like I think he did all of that very, very intentionally with like 5 words.
Psychology.
Yeah.
That's the psychology major coming in. But I get what he's doing. And I think that we know enough about Dak to, like we just talked about, he believed that.
100%.
However,
doesn't mean he's right.
True.
You can jump. Are you jumping?
In order to fix what he's talking about, it's a lot. And I do think that with his leadership, maybe he could rally the guys or whatever, but fans don't want to hear that. And I hate to say that because I have a lot of respect for Dak and I know what he's doing.
I think part of that was to his team.
Oh, facts.
Like you guys are going to doubt and hate on ourselves and we're going to get down. I'm telling you.
Right. And I agree with that.
We will be good.
I just think fans are in a place to where they want answers, but they don't even want answers. They want answers. And it's like, don't talk to me about it. Like, I need it in your actions as well. So that's where fans are at this point, I think.
I think a lot of fans want to hear, we sucked. That's not good enough. We got a lot to do. That's on me. That's on them.
Oh my
that's
God.
on him. And just ultimate ownage. And like fans want to see the player feel the way
like
that they feel.
That's perfect.
Exactly.
And you're not always going to get that, and it wouldn't actually serve the players to feel the way you feel.
Yeah, that's
a lot
not
of the
how it
time.
operates.
But yeah, you mentioned there are a lot of things from that game, from the last 2 games, that got to get fixed, and we're going to go through quite a few of those and the odds that they can be fixed without new players. We'll do that next. Please hit the like and subscribe. It's the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Before we get there, I do want to talk to you about my friends at Sleeper, which I absolutely love. Sleeper is so fun because you can take things, it's kind of like fantasy, right? Well, I mean, it is fantasy, but you're making picks. Up to a $100 first deposit match using the code DLLS Boys on the Sleeper app. And it's a lot of fun because what you can do is you can take games that you might not have really cared about and you get way more interested in it because they just tell you the projected stats for all of these different players. And it's not just NFL, it's all sorts of sports, college also. And it's just, you say more or less. Is Dak going to have more or less than his projecting passing yards? He had more. Is CeeDee going to have more or less? I can tell you he had 1 less because I picked more. But anyway, the more players that you pick, the more money you can win, up to 100 times your money. So download the Sleeper app, use the code, ours is DLLS Boys, and you get up to a $100 match on that first deposit. See Sleeper's terms of use for details, currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. And once again, 2 weeks in a row, Cowboys, you know what you drove me to do, but that's okay because I stocked up on my Z-Biotics pre-alcohol. 15% off at zbiotics.com/DLLS Cowboys. And it's called Z-Biotics pre-alcohol. It's a probiotic drink, and it's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by really smart people, PhD scientists, to help you tackle a rough morning after the Cowboys they didn't make me. That's my own shortcomings.
Way to take accountability.
They didn't make me.
Yeah.
But I'll be damned if you take no responsibility, team. But you take your Z-Biotics pre-alcohol as your first drink of the evening and then carry on in that way that you do. And now you can have yourself a nice morning. Shout out to our friends at ZBiotics, 15% off. zbiotics.com/DLLS Cowboys. It's backed with a 100% money back guarantee. They'll refund that money, no questions asked, if you don't love it. ZBiotics. Toot toot. All right. I like coming up with names for stuff.
No.
I don't think every segment has to have like a name and a theme song. I'm looking at you, our friends Ben and Skin. Like everything got to have a 60-second intro, and we love you. They're two of my favorite people on planet Earth.
Mine too.
But I don't need a whole theme song. But we were kicking around all the things that were problems for the Cowboys yesterday. And Jesse wasn't here for the postgame show. Aisha was. And so I said, Jesse, I'd kind of like to fire some stuff at you. Basically based off of a tweet that I made.
Yeah.
And so I started to show him the tweet, and he goes, hold on. And he pulled up his Twitter account, and he turned his laptop, and he goes, what about these ones? And it's kind of the same. And so let's go through some of those things. And in the chat, love to hear from you. Please like and subscribe while you're here. But like to hear from you. What is your biggest concern? There's obviously a lot of them. What is your biggest one? And then, are any of them fixable? And so we called it tweet. We're calling it tweet for tweet. Tweet for tweet. Because Jesse had a tweet. I had a tweet. I also have my tweet. I took my tweet off of my written paper. So I have the written paper that I can run them through. And we can talk about some of the things that are wrong with these Cowboys and if we think they're fixable. Because here's my thing. Things that are fixable, cool. Okay. We can keep going. Don't you write on the whiteboard. That's the third segment, Aisha. Don't be throwing up magic marker. Well, you can write it. It is Magic Marker Monday in segment 3.
My notepad. I didn't want to forget my thought.
Oh, use your whiteboard. I'm sorry, Aisha.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Aisha.
You've been yelling at me all morning.
Aisha, I would like to apologize. Write your notes wherever you need your notes. I just want you to be happy and comfortable.
I'm joking. Jesse
Aisha,
needs to go to an ambulance.
Can you look at me for a second?
I'm not emotionally regulated.
Can I tell you something, Aisha?
They have broken me.
You are strong. You are smart. You are capable. You are worthy.
Oh.
And you can write wherever you want.
No, these affirmations are speaking to me.
Okay.
You're a mighty black woman.
Please.
You're a mighty black
Still
woman.
sensitive.
And
Still has
What do you say? Go off. Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead.
The Martin gift? I didn't even see that. Martin's my favorite show.
See, shout out to that one that says, hello, here for my girl Aisha.
Hey, girl.
Yeah. Or is anybody here for me?
Everybody here for you.
Jesse?
Yes.
You want to start on tweet for tweet with one of your tweets, or you want some of my stuff?
I'll let you go first, Captain.
D tackles aren't NFL players. The left tackle and right tackle are turnstiles. They got one wide receiver, and when things aren't going his way, he pouts like a baby. The tight end depth is 0, and they commit penalties. The running back room has one average dude. The linebackers are overrated by us, and they only have one pass rusher. So there was a few.
Yeah, there's a few.
But if any of those line up with some of yours, feel free.
Well, we'll start offensively. I put bad offensive line. And that's one of the things when you go and you watch this game, your center is not playing up to par.
Really?
He would.
I would say not good,
but he's not.
The center doesn't worry me.
No, he doesn't. But you speak your truth. Speak your truth.
Yeah, speak your truth.
Jesse.
Hey, Jesse, your thoughts are valid.
They are.
You matter.
Mm.
I care what you think.
We're not going to interrupt you anymore.
Tell me, go off, King.
Go off, King.
I'm not saying all of that.
You're a powerful black man.
Your left tackle. You got something to say? Left tackle?
Catchy.
Your right tackle?
More catchy.
That's what I say about him.
They're just revolving doors around the edge.
They're very similar. They are playing reactionary football. They are not striking. They're giving up their chest. They are not setting in their hips. They have no anchor. They're not even giving themselves the opportunity to anchor because they're on their heels coming out their kick step. So you're just giving up. Like, they're going against these powerful, we talked about it in pregame, powerful edges. They're just getting driven back into the quarterback.
Oh,
so if you have weak tackles.
Yeah, that too.
And you have a okay center, you got problems.
Yeah.
You got problems up front.
You do have problems, but you just went up against two backup tackles last week, and guess what? They schemed it up. Guess what?
They
beat
also
your
didn't
ass.
have to call pass plays.
They called plenty of pass plays.
Who?
The Saints. They had backup tackles last week.
16 times.
Fair. Successful.
And this week they threw
16
15
to
times.
Still successful.
I think they might have gone up to 19 by the end, but for a while it was at 13.
Still success. But my point is like there are things that you can do to help out these tackles.
It's so difficult.
It's difficult.
On every single. You can't help every single play.
And I hear that because it takes your tight ends away. All that stuff.
This has become the problem. Is that there's only so much you can scheme. There's only so much you can protect. There's only so much you can help. There's only so much you can do. When you're talking about playing 60+ plays a game, I can't give those guys help every time.
Sometimes guys just got to do their job.
You got to anchor down and be a god darn professional at this point in time. And what ends up happening is you don't know when the leak is going to come. What play? Who's going to leak now?
That's fair.
It's going to be my left tackle, my right. So now you're trying to figure out, okay, hey, tight end, go help Terrence Steele. Okay, coach, I'm going to go help Terrence Steele.
Who's helping Guyton?
Who's helping Guyton? oh, no, we're going to go help Guyton. Oh, okay. Oh, they run a stunt in the middle and our center gets beat. Pressure coming up the middle. You just cannot.
Yeah.
It is impossible for you to be able to deploy all these different type of helps and scheme against guys who gotta at some point in time. And I get, you're talking about two rookies. Terrence Steele is what Terrence Steele is. But boy, it is becoming absolutely difficult to try to even call plays.
Well, Steele, and the thing is that Steele is really the issue, right? Because we expected for Tyler Guyton to have some of his issues or whatever the case may be. It's Steele that really is changing things and making it more of a damper on your offense because he's the veteran. He's the guy that's a year removed from his ACL. He's the guy that you're looking for to come in and be able to do some things. He's better in the run game. We know that. But his play has declined in the passing game.
And it's tough because they have a lot of holes. And when it comes to offensive line, I do think that for this season, that's the one out of all of the giant things that I'm worried about. That's the one that I think you can at least have some hope in because you are talking about two rookies that in theory, as the season goes along, like check in 6 weeks, BB should be a better player. Guyton should be a better player. If you're thinking long term, I believe Zach Martin's going to retire when the season's over, and I believe you're going to have to find a way to move on from your right tackle. And what if the left tackle hasn't come along? Like, you could be in a really bad way for a long time, but that's the one that at least you could have some optimism in that two of those guys are babies.
Can I ask a question about the offensive line? If you could...
You can ask anything you want, Black Queen.
Yes.
Yes.
If you...
And your Black King will be here to answer.
If you could fix it, as far as if you could change some things around with this offensive line, within this offensive line...
Don't you move my all-pro left guard.
I wasn't even trying to start nothing, man. I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Tater tots.
Okay.
Your right tackle, you said it last night.
Yeah.
Your right tackle's not playing that well. But that kid over there that's struggling in left tackle, he played right tackle a long time.
Who's going to play left tackle? Are you about to put a Sim Richards on an NFL field?
I'm not. I'm just asking how you would, if you were going to fix this offense.
Oh, I can fix this. Yeah, I can fix it easy.
Because Jesse's saying
I can fix it easy.
2 bad tackles is one thing. Yeah, like, 1 bad tackle is one thing.
I can fix it easy.
2 bad tackles is a whole nother thing. Yeah. So how do you fix it? And then we'll finish your list.
You guys heard of a DeLorean, the vehicle?
Yeah, Back to the Future.
I would use the DeLorean. I would go back to the future, and I would tell Jerry Jones again what I told him then. Hey, Tyron Smith is good. Bring him back. Silly face.
I thought you had a plausible solution, and you gonna talk about
let our Caucasian captain cook.
He talking about Back to the Future.
Let this white king.
Let our Caucasian captain cook. He's, you know what I mean. Go ahead, Captain. Our Caucasian captain cook.
I do want to give, this is going to sound crazy, I do want to give a little bit of credit because I do think that there is an unimaginative offense, and we have all week and all show so we can get into more things. Like, Jesse, I know you talking about old school West Coast offense.
Yeah, that's next.
I do think that the coaching staff knows and in some ways are trying to help. It's just how it compounds the amount of things you can't do. The fact that your run game is not a threat, very first drive of the game, because I thought not a lot of movement, pretty generic, and I'm watching, and they are trying. Like, one of the first pass plays they ran, they're in gun. Dak tries to show play action. The O-line tries to show that we're running and that Tyler Smith is pulling from left guard to lead a run to the right. But what he's really doing is pulling to block the defensive end so Steele's not one-on-one with an edge guy, and Steele can step inside and help Zach Martin and not be exposed. Like, they are trying. And I think they do need a little bit of credit for that, because in my brain in real time, I'm like, you're not doing enough. They know.
No, they know.
And they're trying.
Quarterback know too.
Yeah, but it's in those critical moments. And when I played under Jason Garrett,
Before he told you go home.
Before he told me to go home.
After telling you that he wanted 53 of you.
Absolutely.
But not one.
And before, this is after he sabotaged Wade Phillips.
Oh, sir.
It's fact. Defenses started calling out our plays.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
When you watch some of the things happen to this Cowboys offense, when you start watching linebackers and DBs at the snap of the ball run to a certain grouping,
Well, they
run,
know.
they're like, they know.
Yeah.
They know.
Isn't it great?
And that's the part where you're saying, yeah, they're trying, but when it matters, you're going back to the same archaic, antiquated stuff that teams are now hip to, right? Like they are hip to it. If we're being honest, right? Like the Brandon Cooks corner route, the DB set on that. He set on it. He knew it was coming.
That's all he's got.
Yeah, he knew it was coming. Thank God Brandon Cooks was like, let me go ahead and I'm just going to pull you down so you don't intercept this.
Yeah.
Blanked him down.
Yeah, there's other plays where you see, the linebacker will run straight to, like, I get it, the West Coast offense, you're going to run the slant, you're going to run the quick out. Like, I get all that kind of stuff. But teams are now just saying, we know it's coming.
Right.
We know when you line up, when CeeDee lines up there, we're going what we call tosser. You're going two slants. We know that Ferg is going up this. We know.
Yeah.
And so those are the type of things when you're talking about an offense. While you may at moments in time try to be creative and try to help, when you need a play, you go back to the same old archaic stuff, and they know that.
Right.
They know the formation because you ain't moving when that's happening.
That's why their best offense is when Dak escapes, because now we're just scrambling.
Well, and after you saw the last 9 minutes of the game, and this is for those who don't ask, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's impossible. That can't be. Yeah, I should say never say never, but like never say never, but never is Dak going to go up to the line of scrimmage and call every single play out of the, we call it red ball, call it 2-minute offense. That's not happening.
There has to be pacing.
That's not happening.
When he checked into hand the ball to Zeke on like whatever it was down on their own goal line, I was like, stop trying to get your friend the ball.
So
I think he's just trying to run the ball.
Yeah, but
what you want them
your
to do
friend
down
is
there.
here to block. Your friend can't run the ball.
Barnacles, continue, Jesse.
I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, you're talking about the West Coast scheme that he's running it's old.
Yeah, and again, also too, last year this system was new, right? It's new, it's installed, whatever. I think a lot
What's
of
weird is how they're always a top 3 or 5 offense. Like we talk about all these things,
with
and they're
respect,
always
that's
a top.
because of the quarterback. Because you can't be
He must be
terrible
the
between
best.
this. You can't be one of the worst teams on first and second down, but the best on one of the best on third down. What does that tell you? I'm sorry.
Quarterback's pulling your ass out of the fire. a lot.
Probably.
Yeah.
Cowboys were in crazy third and longs all last season. But back to your point, Jesse, yeah, you're not, people have tape on this offense as well now. So they understand the usage and stuff. And I thought they got away with some things last year with it being new, quote unquote, in a sense. I think your personnel is what makes it new, but the system's not new.
The shine's coming off Mike Zimmer too, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Coming off Mike Zimmer a little bit.
It's getting rough, but it's like, is it, what is it though? Like, is the DT position being not where it needs to be? Is it trickling down that bad? Or are we
Maybe.
talking about something else? Because I will say, I think it could.
Your edges didn't do their job.
But they're not doing their job because I don't think they're doing their job because they don't believe this particular important part of the field is doing their job.
Yeah, and I think that's true. I think that's human nature, and I think you have to stop.
And then
you
it
have to
trickles
say,
down,
look, if they don't do their job and we lose because of that, that's fine. We're not going to lose because I don't think they can do their job. Therefore, I'm not going to do my job, and it's going to be my fault.
Yeah.
Let it be their fault.
And then the linebackers are suffering because of that. And then your secondary is suffering because of that. But I think they're also, too, kind of concerned with what's going on back there a little bit more than what they should be because they feel like they feel the urgency about not being able to stop the run, clearly.
Yeah.
So is it that? Is it just the DT situation is just not enough and you still need another pass rusher?
Yep.
Or is it
Yep.
they don't believe in this scheme?
Yep.
Or we heard so many players talk so good about Zimmer and what to expect, and we've heard plenty of players talk about it. So is it, you tweeted about this, is it Zimmer? Is it the personnel?
Yep.
Like, which one is it?
All of the above.
Because it felt like there was a real belief in the system. What's up? Why are you whispering at me?
Both of them.
Both of them?
Like the SpongeBob. Was it SpongeBob?
Both of them.
No, it's Dexter.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to do some stuff. Let me
Oh.
knock out some super chats real quick. We need to go find the Wizard of Oz. We're running around with no heart and no brains. Thank you, Adrian. Uptown Degree, watching the Chiefs D-line cave in the Falcons O-line on the 4th down play to end the game yesterday made me feel levels of jealousy I didn't know I could experience.
You know why? Chris Jones.
They got a monster.
They have one of the best generational. Chris Jones makes a difference.
Boy,
he makes a difference.
And Nick Bolton. They got a linebacker that
thick.
And he's thick.
He's thick.
He's thick, smart, and quick. And Dirk, explain to me how Brandon Cooks isn't washed. The dudes on the official post-game show kept trying to say he's getting open and Dak isn't finding him. We can prove that's not true. I have the numbers on him not getting open.
That's not true.
Delicate.
I do think he's washed. But
delicate. Put fabric softener.
This is something. Cooks is one we're going to keep an eye on. Because I know Aisha has hope for him. I got him as washed. We're going to keep a sharp eye. I got a wonk eye.
Okay.
We're gonna keep a wonk eye on the situation.
Get your fabric softener ready.
It is a magic marker. Magic City Magic Marker Monday. It's a Magic Marker Monday.
Hey.
If you could fix one thing on this team magically, you get your little Harry Potter wand and you could fix Leviosa. Fix one thing. What would it be? Leave that in the chat. Please hit the like and subscribe button. And we'll talk about that next. First, let's talk about my guys at Indeed. And you need to post your jobs with the code ALLCITY. If you're hiring, you can get a $75 sponsored job credit. Indeed.com/ALLCITY. So if you need to hire, you need Indeed. They're your matching and hiring platform. Over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences. So the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And if you're a listener of the show, you will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/AllCity. Just go to Indeed.com/AllCity right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire. You need Indeed.
There you go. And we're here. Football season is here. And I believe October is when hunting season starts.
I love coolers.
So we're talking about all things outdoors, Saturdays, Sundays, tailgates, grilling in the backyard, your weekend hunting trips. If you need a cooler, boy, do I got the one for you.
I love coolers.
You do love coolers.
But only good coolers.
Only good coolers. If you're looking for a good cooler, head over to see our friends at ruggedroadoutdoors.com. Use our code DLLS for 10% off. I mean, these coolers.
Look at it. Look at that cooler.
Look at that cooler.
That looks sturdy to you?
It does.
Ooh, it's still lightweight, though.
It's lightweight. It's absolutely lightweight. And it floats. So if you get caught up the river, it floats. You can use that as a life vest. Forget about the door. He don't need the door.
I don't think you can advertise it as a life vest. I'd be careful with that.
I'm just saying you don't need a door.
Yeah.
Like, remember on Titanic? You don't have to get on the door. Use your rugged outdoor. Use your rugged outdoor. Crafted to handle the toughest environment, the coolers are built to last, ensuring that they keep up with any adventure. The coolers are guaranteed to keep the contents cool for up to 7 days. If the power goes out, if you homeless, you get one of these coolers right here.
You're homeless, Jesse.
You got 7 days to keep that stuff cool in the cooler. Head over to ruggedroadoutdoors.com. Use our promo code DLLS for 10% off. Get you a cooler to keep your stuff cool for 7 days or more. Well, 7 days, not more. I'm adding on.
Whatever.
You should have said, in Texas we have been experiencing inclement weather. Our power system is not the greatest.
Look, it was a 60-second spot. We're going on 120.
It's getting cold. It's getting cold. You might need a cooler.
You might need a cooler.
All right. Check it out, everybody. If you could fix magically one thing on the Cowboys, I want to know what it is. This is a Magic Marker Monday.
Hey,
it's a Magic Marker Monday. If you could magically fix one thing.
Oh.
And I'm looking. It's not Magic City. It's Magic Marker.
Oh, sorry.
See, Bruce is in my head here. We got Bruce down here. He's in my head. He knows what we're going with. Ben and Big D said, I'd fix Jesse's wrist. Yeah, if you missed the beginning of the show, check the first segment. He jumped off the table for no reason.
But it wasn't the fall that made it hurt.
What was it?
It was the catapulting. It was the catapulting. It was the bending.
Off of here?
Off of there. Yeah,
it was the bending and
going over. Yeah, I'm old.
Kat, can we get more me? Isolation shot on Jeff. It's a Magic Marker Monday. If you could magically fix one thing about this team, what would it be?
What?
I would fix the girth.
You know, I can relate to that though. I can relate to girth.
Please, y'all.
I'm familiar with that. I'm familiar with those territories.
The things that we were talking about.
Please explain it.
You might be able to fix on this team.
Yeah.
Please give it context.
Rookie offensive linemen could get better as the season goes along. Maybe your running game could be. Like, I don't know. A lot of things, maybe it could get better. The one thing that I don't think can get better unless you literally get new players, or at least a new player, is the way that you stop the run on the interior. I do think, Aisha, I think you're going to win the debate from last night. I think Mozzie probably played okay-ish football in that game. Ish. Kind of. A decent amount of the time. Linval has nothing left. Jordan Phillips has nothing left. Osa against the run is just small. I need girth.
When you talk about...
I need girth. I need a big, beefy... huge man. And so if I could magically do it, I would, but it's actually a plea to Jerry Jones. That's the one thing you have to make a trade. You have to go get somebody.
Because you could get away with I think you could get away with the running back room.
I thought you were going to say size matter. I
So.
thought you were going to. I don't know why I thought you were going there.
What,
I
length?
thought you were talking about. It's not the size of the ship, but the motion in the ocean.
Yeah.
I thought that's what you were talking about. I'm
Y'all,
sorry, but go ahead.
You can get away with the
Sorry.
running back room. You
Maybe.
cannot get away, maybe, barely, a little bit.
barely.
Probably not.
Maybe.
A little bit.
But you can't get away with this DT room. It is literally making your whole defense look like they don't know how to play defense no more.
So what you're
and
saying...
the alignments were trash too. I mean, I shouldn't say trash. They were bad as well.
We can say trash.
I
on the
don't
show.
like saying that
Yeah.
word. You
Say
guys
but.
just rubbed up. No, I don't like saying that word.
Say ass.
So,
Trash.
no, the alignments weren't good as well.
Thank you.
They got caught. Not lining up the right way. There's some miscommunication stuff. Like, there's just no faith in that defensive line right now.
Walker is in the super chat. The 90s Cowboys were big at D-line. See, girthy. Great at linebacker, had a secondary. Jerry knows the formula. Why did they refuse to value what won them? I will fight a little bit on that, Walker. A big part of why the Cowboys won all the Super Bowls.
They had all the money.
There was no salary cap, and somebody was dumb enough to trade for a washed-up running back and give you all of the draft picks, and then you just got to have the best team ever put on a field. And so, yes, it would be great to have the best team ever put on an NFL field and be better than everyone you play like the 90s Cowboys were. That would be fun. But yes, we do need some girth. It's magic marker Monday.
What's yours?
For me, Magic Marker Monday. If I could change one thing about this team, would be
What you got? Toughness. Toughness. What's tough? We got lights.
We got
the lights. You get the. I can see it. It's toughness.
it's toughness.
Toughness.
That's what I would change. It would be toughness, because when I watch this football team play on both sides of the football, we were talking about it before the show. I sometimes watch this team play and I go back to the house party reference. when if you haven't seen House Party, there's a moment in that house party where he goes,
Oh, no.
"Do I smell?" If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. This team is not tough. This team is not mentally tough. And I'm not saying individuals. I'm saying as a team, this team is not mentally tough.
Well, we saw CD yesterday. It's not mentally tough.
It's not physically tough. The culture is not tough. Now, that starts from the top down. This is a very fragile football team. And, you see it on the sideline. You see guys losing their everlasting mind on the sideline.
What y'all see on the sidelines?
Who did?
What'd you guys see?
Mike and Tank got in a fight. CD's body
Because
language
I
was
didn't hear
terrible.
about that, and I didn't know about that until I came in here this morning with y'all.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear my amateur lip reading?
Hold on, let me
Okay.
get through this.
Go
Let me
on.
get through
I'm
this.
sorry.
And
Tell me to shut up?
No, I'm just telling
No,
you.
I'm
Let me ride out on this
Tell me,
one.
Caucasian captain?
No, thank you. Let your black king ride. You know what I'm saying? Let the
You're
black
right.
king, let the black king ride out. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Now I forgot what I was going to say.
Damn it!
No.
But the toughness altogether. This team,
It's fragile.
it's a fragile team, right? Like at some point in time, I just look at things and I say to myself, there's no way I'm going to let another man just do this to me. Like, I just can't. I cannot allow this to happen week in and week out where, like, you watch the film from the Saints game. Like, as a team, as a man, you watch that film. And I'm sure that you had a moment in time when you got in the mirror and you talked to yourself and you said, "Self, I'm not going to let this happen to me again." And then you proceeded to go throughout the entire week probably some great speeches from coaches throughout the week.
Oh, they told us they had a bad week of preparation.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. But okay, cool. Bad week of preparation. But then you get to the game, and as soon as you touch the ball, you get mollywopped. As soon as offensively and defensively, you get worked. I just look at this and I'm like, they lack toughness on all three levels, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch as someone who's been around people who understands and knows what toughness. I'm not the toughest guy in the world. I'm pretty tough.
You're not that tough.
I bounce back from the wrist. Look at here. I bounce back from the wrist.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you're not putting me on IR.
Don't do that.
You're not putting me on IR.
Well, it ain't up to you. If the GM, if Ben
tells
decided
me
to.
I'm on IR. I'm on. So yeah, for me, it's toughness. But I don't want Ben to put me on IR.
It's a magic marker Monday, Aisha.
Wow. No, can you elaborate what you guys were talking about though? Like, I didn't. Again, your lip reading and stuff, because I didn't know that was even a thing.
Yeah, I think it was right at the end of the game. Tank was sitting on the bench, Micah was standing, and they were going back and forth talking about things. And my very amateur lip reading, I couldn't tell what Micah was saying, but I have Tank saying something along the lines of, "Did you do that? Did you do that?" And then something probably like, "Sit your ass down, shut the up." And then people had to grab Micah and kind of redirect him. Let's chill out, bro. Like they were getting at it a little bit.
Oh,
and that was amateur lip reading. It could have been nothing like that. We could get sounds of the sideline, and it turns out what was happening was Micah was saying, "You're my best friend," and Tank was like, "I love you too."
We don't get sounds on losses.
Oh,
unfortunately.
then we'll never know.
Mine is, I hope you can read it. It's their inability to adapt.
Okay.
This goes from the top when you talk about how this organization is being run, not attacking free agency, not doing any of those things, the way that they, we can be, I was ticked off about CeeDee Lamb not being here, but you just should have paid him a long time ago. It shouldn't have been this complicated. Like, the way that they operate as a front office is not conducive to building a strong football team, number one. Number two, their inability to adapt, to your point, in game. I'm talking about the coaches. I'm talking about the players. There's never, they never have a counter to what people are doing to them. And it, to me, speaks to what you were talking about earlier, the preparation. When you listen to players come out and say things in regard to the Saints, they had an answer for everything. Green Bay, they had an answer for everything. Well, baby, why don't you have an answer? Why don't you have any type of response to the things that are going on? And then you talked about the toughness, Jesse, the emotional side of things, their inability to adapt to what they're going through and to figure it out and to survive at the very least. And I think we saw a tad bit at the end of that game, but I just thought that was your QB willing you to something else. But all the way around, it's just their ability to adapt. You talk about the play callers. You just mentioned it. Keep up with the times. Keep up with the trends. Honestly, we watched the playoffs last year, and everybody's like, "Oh, we running the ball again now in the NFL, baby." You could have seen that in the playoffs last year. The teams that were successful through the playoffs had the ability to run the ball. Even the Chiefs, a team that literally has relied on their run game, their pass game a lot. They went to running that ball with Pacheco because they saw that is what's working in this NFL. You got a lot of tweeners. Got a lot of dudes that's lighting their ass on the defense.
Teams are daring
We're about to start seeing that flip, and you look at this DT class coming up, heavy. DT's a luxury. I think that it's gonna be that way with the trends changing. So to me, I'm like, they should have picked up on, to me, that this was turning back into a running league in some situations already. And then I'm just, the scheme is a problem, the personnel is a problem. It's all, so many things are true at once, but it all stems back to their inability to adapt to what is going on around them and what their roster and everything looks like. So that's where I'm at.
That was really good, my Black Queen.
I know what Michael and Tank were talking about.
That's a great tease. What Micah and Tank were talking about, what was going on in CD's head. Dak had to talk for Joe Hoyt.
Let's go, Joe.
Who was at the game. All of those things are coming at you next on the Cowboys DLLS podcast. But first, I want to encourage you to hit the like and the subscribe, please.
Do it now!
Because it's nice. It helps us out, and we want you to help us out.
Please.
And we'd love for you to be a part of our family. I would like for you to join my family. AllDLLS.com, and you can sign up to become a diehard. And what happens there is you get access to all the things. We have people who write. We do our shows, obviously, every day, every team, pre and post game. I saw somebody talking about what somebody said on the official post game or the whatever. Watch the right post game. We go live as soon as the game goes final for any DFW pro sport. Be right here, youtube.com/@DLLS_sports. Be there for that. But we want you to sign up to be a diehard, Magic Marker Monday. And you get the hookup. What you get when you sign up to be a diehard is you get a free t-shirt every year. And I don't, our merch.
It's the best.
Our merch goes hard.
It's swaggy.
It is very swaggy. And you can pick a free t-shirt every year. Then on top of that, you get 20% off of any other merch that you get. You get 20% off any event that we throw, which those are in the works right now.
It's coming.
You get access to our members only Discord, our premium content that's on the website from our writers for all the different teams. It's the hookup. So we would love if you would join up. Hit like, hit subscribe, sign up to be a diehard, be part of the team. We love you. Let's do it. Kat, you want to just tell us when we have Joe?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
In fairness, I am starting to think the Chiefs is they got somebody else working for them
don't do
because
that.
how many?
Don't do it.
So what's?
Don't do
Tell
the
me
rape
what?
thing.
Maybe I don't know what pass interference is. What is it? What does it look like?
That's whatever
because
the
it
refs
can't.
call.
Subjective to
That's whatever the refs call.
Whatever the refs call.
That's whatever the refs call. Sometimes they call it, sometimes they don't. I feel like the Cowboys were trying to, the refs were trying to keep us in the game a little bit as it was getting out
Little
of
bit.
hand yesterday.
Huh?
Cowboys got a couple favorable calls.
We got a couple good ones.
Look, the rough in the passer. Huh?
Uh-huh.
Mina texted, she tweeted like rough in the passer.
Yeah.
I posted the Westbrook thing where he's freaking singing.
I'll tell you, for all the stuff, and whatever negative stuff you have on Dak, I think another thing that's good about him, he knows how to draw those. When somebody was touching him, like, I don't think that dude lifted him. I think Dak pushed himself in the air and was like, oh, look, pick me up and see what he did. Like, no, I don't think he did, but okay.
Not see what he did. You crazy.
All right, we've got things on what was going on inside the head of CeeDee Lamb, Mike and Tank getting into it, all those different things. And a great guy to talk about that would be somebody who was out there and was part of all of the post-game stuff. Hello, Joe. Look at Joe. Look at him at the star.
Yeah.
Jesse, do the thing.
Tell him something, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey guys, the rain is gone, the sun is out. It's a new day at the Star, huh?
Hey, was it open locker room already? Have you been to locker room? Like, what have we learned today?
Yeah, we went to locker room. As you would imagine, not a lot of people in there. CeeDee Lamb was not one of them, which is not that surprising. We did talk with Jordan Lewis a lot, though, and Jordan. You know, you could sense this last night, but there's definitely some frustration with the Cowboys defense in terms of not everyone being on the same page, in terms of maybe a little individual play. You know, Micah Parsons said too many Supermen out there. Jordan Lewis really hammered home today. It's all about details. I think he said the word details 25 times in a 5-minute interview. And he's like, guys, you know, the NFL is a draft every single year. Personnel is not a problem. It's literally coming down to details and not being a pro. And you kind of echoing what Dak Prescott said and what DeMarcus Lawrence said. So it seems like that's becoming a pretty consistent theme among some of the Dallas Cowboys players is details and being a pro.
I wonder, so when I hear that, and maybe it's just my selfishness of that I want to know everything. Like, I just want to know, who are we talking about? And like, whose fault is that, you know? Is it that, because I heard from players that they love the Mike Zimmer thing because Dan Quinn, if you screwed it up, he'd be like, that's okay. We'll just dumb it down. And that Mike Zimmer, it's like, you're going to get these details right or you're not going to play. Well, nobody's been benched. And if we're getting the details wrong, I sure would like to know who and what we're going to do about it, Joe.
You don't have the guys to bench. You don't have the depth to bench people.
I heard if you can't do it, I'm going to find someone who can. That's what I heard.
That's what I heard. And of course, Joe, you mentioned Jordan Lewis. That's one thing about him, man. Like,
Accountability.
He will stand in front of a microphone and take some of these tough questions. We've seen that before, right, Joe?
Every single time. Jordan Lewis has always been the one. I mean, I think we talked to one person after the Green Bay loss the morning after last year, and I think it was Jordan Lewis. Even though he was an impending free agent, he's always been, and he talked about it. He's like, man, we got to be accountable. He said that too in terms of details. So to Jeff's point, there's a lot of, you know, you can tell there's frustration aimed somewhere in terms of not being accountable, not doing the details, not doing the work outside of this. He said it's the NFL, man. It's a job. You got to get it done. And clearly right now there's some people on this defense that are not giving that full effort to get it done.
Joe, when you talk about, you hear the detail, and you hear about being accountable, being a pro, where is this falling at, right? Is this falling on the leaders of the locker room, the Tanks, your Micahs, your Daks, you know, your Zach Martins? I know they had a leadership council meeting last week. Or does this fall on, hey, coaches, like when you talk about details, like that's a coaching thing as well. Because what is the old saying? Either you're coaching it or you're allowing it
to happen.
Or you're allowing it to happen. So where do you feel like those whose shoulders are those things falling on?
It's funny because that details and that being a pro messaging is echoed from the leaders on this team, right? So it makes it kind of seem like they're almost the middlemen between the top, the defensive coordinators, the Mike Zimmers, and then the players that clearly are not getting it. So, I mean, is it a Mike Zimmer thing that's allowing it to happen, to your point? Potentially. But it seems, honestly, a little more individualistic. It seems a little bit more pointed at, hey, X player here, you got to do your thing. You're not doing enough. And, it's funny. They got a big test this week with a short turnaround. I asked Jordan, is this a quick fix? His response, hopefully.
Oh no, not absolutely, but hopefully. I love that. And obviously the most important thing is to be really, really good at football. That's the most important thing for the players. But I love that game over. Dak is going to stand up and Jordan Lewis is going to stand up.
Yep.
And I think they need more of that.
Yeah.
They need 53 of those.
Tyler Smith too.
Well, that's because Tyler Smith knows he's going to be like, yeah, I did great. What y'all want to know about these other people, though?
I'll talk. Got nothing bad to say about me.
Joe, anything else you need to sneak in? Otherwise, have a great day, and we love you.
Yeah, take care, guys. See ya.
Bye,
right.
Brody.
There's Joe Hoyt. He's out there at the Star working.
Oh, that
grinding.
sun in the background.
The sun has come out.
It looks good out there. So,
Yeah.
Jesse, I did want to get the former player's perspective on that. When you see guys getting into it on the sideline, two of your star players on defense, when you see the one that would be annoying to me is if I were Dak, if I was going to put myself in his shoes, that the receiver who obviously was going through it during the game and had his frustrations and his body language was bad, and maybe we got into it a little bit, and then you're over there doing your pouting thing, and then you don't come into the locker room when the media's in there. So when I go to the podium, I have to answer questions about you. That seems like an ass whipping for the quarterback. How much do those things matter? Like, does it matter if they just show up and play better football?
You
How much does it matter? Huh?
You painted that picture.
You did paint that picture.
Tater time.
Yeah, it matters. And because people all say two things can be true or whatever it is. Like, I don't have a problem with the sideline frustration guys going back and forth. I don't have a problem with that.
If you can lock in and go play.
If you don't show me up on the football field, right? So when you see CeeDee sitting down and he's banging the turf like a petulant child, or when he runs around and he doesn't get the ball and he throws his hands up. Yeah. Now when you add that to the mix, that's when I don't like the sideline stuff. That's when it becomes an issue for me. Because yes, frustrations will have. This game is while it's very simplistic in its form, it's a very difficult game to play. And I get when things aren't going right, frustrations will build because you're trying. A lot of guys are out there trying. And I don't think, maybe except for Jordan Phillips, maybe Linval Joseph, most of the guys don't want to go out there and be bad. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys want to actually go out there and perform and do the best that they can for their brothers. And so I understand that part. I don't like when the two come together. I don't like when you have the on the field showing me up. As a receiver, you're never supposed to show your quarterback up. So
I won't throw you the damn ball.
Exactly. So when you do those things, Dak is seeing that and he's like, dog, understand what I'm dealing with back here, right? Like, understand that part.
You come play in this pocket.
Like, me getting that ball to you was hard enough.
I want to throw the ball to you. Problem is, I got a lot of things to deal with back here. I'm dealing with a lot right now. And so help me help you.
Right.
Don't show me up.
Yeah. And no, I mean, and to your point, Jesse, like, I think people be forgetting, this is a bunch of grown-ass men playing this sport. You got a lot of personalities. You do have a lot of egos. You do have a lot of emotions, to your point. So I'm not super, when I see people getting into it on the sidelines and stuff like that, sometimes you need somebody to check you. I remember in the military, sometimes you need people to let you know, and it's passion a lot of times too. But to your point, yeah, like with CeeDee, and I love me some CeeDee to 1,000, but I was at a point during the game where I was like,
you told him to sit down?
I said, sit his ass down. Yeah. Because he is more of a detriment at this point than a help at this point. Right. Because you're going to him and he's clearly not there. He's clearly checked out. And I think there is something to be said about playing through it. but it was hurting more. I thought. What you got, Jeff?
Well, I know you get something too.
Oh, what else you got?
And just to add on to that is when you talk about, does it matter? Like it matters a lot. Like it matters in the point because what you saw with Micah and you saw with Tank is I can't yell at you about doing your job when you know that I screwed up my job.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So now you got guys out there that's getting to that point where you're like, hey man, hold your block. Hold my block. What were you doing? And that's the part. So when you have that conversation, that right there can also lead to something bad.
And my one thing, just kind of expand on what Aisha said, is like my thing with if you get into it on the sideline, like I don't care if a wide receiver is bitching and wants the ball.
Right.
Like CeeDee had to do that to fix our offense last year. I have no problem with that. The problem is when what is going on in your brain that you display for the world to see can't go away once you step back out there and it brings down your play.
Yes.
That's a problem.
Yes.
The fact that comeback happened with CeeDee watching, like both those touchdown drives, CeeDee came in after they scored to try to get the 2-point conversion. And then was it the next drive where he had the drop, run across the middle, and he let it hit him in the shoulder pad instead of using his hands? And then he's like, oh, me. Like, you have got to, if you are that good of a player, it's okay if you get frustrated and you need to vent, you need to yell at somebody, you need to do something on the side. Like, I think that's fine. But when you carry that back onto the field and you can't, some guys can play.
Yeah.
Some guys can get mad at everybody, talk crazy to everybody, and it brings them up.
Right.
I saw CeeDee on this day when he was in that bad place, you couldn't play.
Right.
That's a problem.
That's
the Tom Brady, the Kobe Bryant, the Michael Jordan of the world. Like when they get upset,
piss me off.
Okay.
That mental blockage was there for him. And I guess I did want to ask Jesse really quick too, kind of along the lines of what you asked him, is you got a whole staff on 1-year deals. I literally said to the guys, like, what if we joined, in hypothetical, what if we joined DLLS and they were disbanding in a year? And you knew that. What does that feel like to come into?
Boy, I gotta stack this money.
What does that feel like? And I'm sorry, I hope that's not a bad example, but like, what does it feel like to go into a job where you don't have any security in regard to who's going to be coaching you, what the personnel is going to look like? They might flip this. Like, how does that affect what your output on the field? Okay.
Yes. And it's like, it's already a division where top level players know that coaches, even guys on deals, you don't control me. Jerry does. Mm-hmm. The guys know that, right? And then when I know that you're probably going to be gone in a year, now I've lost that ability to be like, well, I got to deal with this coach. No, now once I decide to turn you off, which I feel like is happening now, you're done. You've lost me. I'm not willing to give my body. I'm not showing up on time. I'm not doing the extra work. I'm not doing the extra film study. I'm not doing the extra treatment. All the little things that you want a player to do for you to make sure that you're right on Sundays, guys aren't doing it anymore.
And you heard they didn't practice well this week, so here we are.
And that's one thing that I hate hearing after the game.
It upset my spirit.
Tell me that before the game. Yeah. Predict you're going to lose. They do it after the game. Like, well, we had a bad week of practice.
Better yet, we were practicing bad. I fixed it.
Your head coach said that.
Yeah.
Think about it. Let that sink in.
I'm going to cry in the car.
Thank you to our super chatters, including A-Drain. I would feel better if the Joneses came out and said they were wrong about what they did in the offseason instead of keeping up the excuses. And that is the thing. Like, we want accountability from so many people, and the one place you will never get it is from the ultimate decision maker who we can have on the record that we're going to be okay at this spot, this spot, this spot, this spot. And in the media and the fan base, you knew that wasn't true. And then it's happening in the season, and they say, we like our guys. Our guys are good enough. And it's just like, no, and we knew they weren't. The only person who's not going to own that is you. But he loves you. Thanks for stopping by. Please hit the like and subscribe. And remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through, even the Joneses. So be cool to everyone. We love you.
Eliminate the contingencies.
Even them.
We all silly like the mayor.